Here we are going to solve model 2 problems on parabola. To solve model 2 problems on parabola, we need some formulas here. The first formula is slope of the line joining the points A x1 by 1 and B x2 by 2 is, it is denoted by M. So y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. The second formula is point slope form of the line. Suppose the point is ax1 y1 and the slope of the line is m is given. Then the line equation is y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. Now the third formula is distance between 2 points. Given a x1 y1 and b x2 y2 is ab equals to root over x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square, or this formula can also be written as under root x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. We use any one of this formula to find the distance between any 2 points given. And fourth formula is perpendicular distance from the given point x1 y1 to the given line ax plus by plus c equals to 0 is modulus ax1 plus by1 plus c by square root a square plus b square. So with these formulas we will solve the model 2 problems on parabola. Now look at the first problem on model 2. Find the equation of the parabola whose focus is S 3, 5 and vertex is A 1, 3. So solution. The question says we need to find the equation of parabola here. The given information is focus S 3, 5 and the vertex A 1, 3. Let us draw a rough diagram for that. This is parabola and this is the axis of the parabola, and which is this line is the directrix. Given focus here, focus name is S, this is 3, 5 and vertex is also given, that is denoted by A 1, 3. Let us take any point on parabola as P x, y. We know the distance between a point in a plane is equal to the fixed point and to the fixed line by the definition of parabola here. Now to find the equation of parabola, first we need to find the directrix equation. So first point is find directrix equation. So how we find the directrix? This is directrix. How we find the directrix equation? So to find the directrix equation, we depend upon point slope form. So first of all, we need to find point. Suppose this is the point of intersection is Q. Suppose we assume this is Q. Take it as coordinates x1, y1. So first of all, we find a point on the directrix. This Q is a point on the directrix. That's why clearly A is the midpoint of QS. Okay, A is the midpoint of QS. Okay, because the distance from any point on the parabola to the focus and to the directrix are equal. That's why here A is considered as midpoint of these 2 points. So we use midpoint formula here. Now midpoint of QS. What is Q coordinates here? Q is x1 comma y1 and S is 3 comma 5. Midpoint of QS is A. What is A? Here is 1 comma 3. We use midpoint formula. Midpoint of QS is equals to x1 plus x2 by 2 comma y1 plus y2 by 2. Assume this is x1 y1 and this is x2 y2, which is equals to the midpoint here. So substitute these values here. x1 plus x2 value is 3 by 2 comma y1 plus y2 value is 5 by 2, which is equals to the midpoint 1 comma 3. So to find x1 y1, we need to equate the first coordinate to the first coordinate and the second coordinate to the second coordinate here. That implies x1 plus 3 by 2 equals to 1 and y1 plus 5 by 2 equals to 3. So from this, x1 is equals to 2 minus 3 and y1 equals to 6 minus 5. So x1 is equals to minus 1 and y1 equals to 1. Therefore, x1 y1, what is the point of x1 y1? It indicates Q. So Q x1 y1 equals to minus 1 comma 1. We found any point on the directrix first. Now we find the slope of this directrix. To find the slope of this directrix, observe the axis is perpendicular to the directrix. So first of all, we find the slope of this axis. Then we converted this slope perpendicular to this line. Now we find the slope of this axis, that is AS. Slope of AS. Slope of AS, that is A and S is 3 comma 5. What is the slope of these 2 points? That is m y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Assume it is x1 y1 and it is x2 y2. The slope m is equals to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So here 5 minus 3 by 3 minus 1. 2 by 2 is equals to 1. Therefore, slope of axis, we denote it as m1 is equals to 1. Observe, axis is perpendicular to directrix. Assume slope of directrix is m2. So here the axis and directrix are perpendicular to each other. If two lines perpendicular to each other, we know that then the slope of those two lines, product of slope of those two lines is minus 1. That is, the slope of axis we denote as m1 and the slope of directrix is denoted as m2. So the product of these two, m1 into m2 equals to minus 1. We know m1 here, that is 1 into m2 equals to minus 1. From this, m2 equals to minus 1. Now to find the directrix, we have a point on the directrix here and the slope of the directrix here. Now we use point slope form. That is, what is the point here? Q x1 comma y1 is equal minus 1 comma 1 and the slope m2 equals to minus 1. So we use point slope form of the line. What is that? That is y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So this is x1 y1 and this is m2 or m also here. So y minus y1 is 1 is equals to m minus 1 into x minus x1 is minus into minus here plus 1. So from this, y minus 1 equals to minus x minus 1. Here minus 1 cancelled. We have x plus y equals to 0. This is the directrix equation. Therefore, directrix equation is x plus y equals to 0. Now the second step is using the formula of parabola. Suppose this point of contact as A, the distance from the point on the parabola to the fixed line and the focus and the fixed point are equal. Okay, so distance from the A to P and the distance from the P to A should be equal by the definition of parabola. So observe, distance from A to P, perpendicular distance from the point P to this line, to this directrix. Now, by the definition of parabola, PA equals to PS. Okay, here PA is, this is the perpendicular distance from P to directrix. perpendicular distance from P x comma y to the directrix. What is the directrix equation we found here? X plus y is equal to 0. And here PS is the distance between P to S clearly. So to find the PA, perpendicular distance from P to this line, we use the formula, perpendicular distance formula here, that is AX1 mod AX1 plus BY1 plus C by square root A square plus B square. AX1 plus BY1 plus C by square root A square plus B square is equals to PS is, what is P coordinates? X comma Y, and S are 3 comma 5. So we use distance formula for these 2 points. What is distance formula for these 2 points? X1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square, or x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So use square root x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square. So substitute the here a value is, for this line a value is 1 and b value is 1 and c value is 0. So substitute here p value is x1 y1. So here a x1 means 1, x1 means x, 1x means x plus by1 means here b value is 1, y1 value is 5. So y plus c value is 0 modulus by square root a square value is 1 square plus b square value is 1 square is equals to square root a minus b whole square plus a minus b whole square formula we use. So that is a square plus b square means 9 minus 2ab means 6x plus a square plus 25 minus 10y. Now squaring on both sides to eliminate root here. Squaring on both sides. Now we have x plus y whole square by here root 2 whole square. So x square plus y square minus 6x minus 10y plus 34 plus 34. By simplifying this, here a plus b whole square form x square a square plus b square plus 2ab. By square root cancel. So 2 taken it to this side, 2x square plus 2y square minus 12x minus 20y plus 68. So 2x square minus x square plus 2y square minus y square minus 12x minus 20y plus 2xy minus 68. Plus 68 is equals to 0. This is required parabolic equation. How we solve parabolic equation here? First of all, we find the directrix equation like this. The second step is we use the definition of parabola. Finally, we get the parabolic equation.